True beauty does not shout. It does not beg for attention. It stands quietly and still commands the room. Emotional control is not the absence of feeling. It is mastery over feeling. A woman who understands this does not allow every emotion to escape her face, her voice, or her actions. She feels deeply, but she chooses carefully what she expresses. This restraint gives her a quiet strength that others immediately sense. When situations become tense, she does not rush to defend herself or explain her worth. She pauses. In that pause, she creates power. Many people confuse loud reactions with confidence. In truth, uncontrolled reactions reveal inner instability. A woman who controls her emotions shows that she is grounded within herself. She does not allow anger to dictate her words, nor does she let fear decide her choices. When she speaks, her voice is steady, not rushed by anxiety or fueled by ego. This calmness is not weakness. It is evidence of self-trust. She knows that she does not need to prove herself in every moment. Emotional control allows her to stay present. Instead of being trapped in past wounds or future worries, she responds to what is happening now. When criticized, she listens without collapsing. When praised, she accepts it without becoming dependent on it. Her emotional balance keeps her from being pulled in different directions by the opinions of others. This stability becomes attractive because people naturally seek safety in those who are emotionally centered. In relationships, emotional control prevents unnecessary conflict. She does not turn small issues into battles. She understands that not every disagreement requires a reaction, and not every provocation deserves attention. By choosing calm over chaos, she preserves her energy and her dignity. Others may raise their voices, but she lowers hers. This contrast makes her presence commanding without effort. Emotional control also shapes her self-image. She is not ashamed of feeling sadness, disappointment, or frustration, but she does not allow these emotions to define her identity. She observes them, learns from them, and then releases them. This ability to move through emotions without being consumed by them creates inner peace. And inner peace reflects outwardly. Her face relaxes, her posture improves, her movements become deliberate. Beauty naturally emerges from this harmony. When a woman is emotionally controlled, she becomes unpredictable in the best way. People cannot manipulate her with guilt, pressure, or praise. She is steady regardless of circumstances. This steadiness is rare, and rarity creates value. Without saying much, without demanding attention, she becomes irresistible simply by remaining composed while the world around her loses control. Self-respect is the foundation upon which a woman's presence and aura are built. A woman who truly respects herself does not rely on the approval of others to feel worthy. She knows her value, and she carries it silently but unmistakably. This self-awareness influences every choice she makes, from the people she allows into her life to the actions she takes each day. It is not arrogance or pride. It is a deep, unshakable understanding that she deserves dignity, kindness, and honesty, both from herself and from others. She sets boundaries naturally, not as a challenge to others, but as a reflection of her self-worth. When someone attempts to cross those boundaries, she responds with quiet firmness, never with aggression. Her limits are clear, and her actions align with them consistently. People sense this alignment. They feel that she does not tolerate compromise on her values, and they respect her for it. A woman who respects herself does not need to fight to be recognized, because her demeanor communicates strength without words. Self-respect also guides her decisions in social interactions. She chooses companions who uplift rather than diminish her. She engages in relationships that honor her integrity and walks away from those that do not. She understands that compromising herself for acceptance is a betrayal of her own essence. By prioritizing her values over fleeting popularity or temporary comfort, she maintains an inner strength that draws others toward her naturally. Her consistency creates trust, and trust creates attraction. In her professional life, self-respect manifests in confidence and composure. She does not settle for tasks or roles that undermine her abilities. She speaks with clarity and asserts her ideas with conviction, not arrogance. Her presence commands attention because she does not apologize for her ambition, her intelligence, or her vision. Her self-respect ensures that she is not swayed by office politics or the approval of those who do not understand her worth. Even in her personal habits, self-respect is evident. She takes care of her body, mind, and spirit not to impress others, but because she values herself enough to invest in her well-being. She honors her time, energy, and emotions, choosing activities and routines that nurture her growth. By consistently honoring herself in small and large ways, she reinforces her sense of identity and self-worth. A woman who embodies self-respect radiates a quiet authority. Her presence alone communicates that she values herself and expects the same from those around her. This quality is magnetic because it signals stability, dignity, and integrity, traits that are universally recognized as beautiful and powerful. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. An irresistible woman understands that waiting for motivation is a trap. Feelings are fleeting, but habits endure. She does not rely on temporary excitement to guide her actions. Instead, she builds routines that carry her forward, even on the days when she feels tired, distracted, or uninspired. This consistency becomes a silent power that others notice, even if they cannot name it. Her discipline applies to every aspect of her life. She cares for her body with regular exercise and proper nutrition, not as a punishment, but as a way to honor herself. She nurtures her mind through reading, reflection, and learning, understanding that knowledge deepens her presence and sharpens her perspective. She organizes her day with intention, dedicating time to growth, rest, and meaningful connections. Each action is deliberate, each choice aligned with her larger purpose. Unlike motivation, which comes and goes, discipline ensures that progress continues even when enthusiasm fades. She does not wait for the perfect moment or the right mood. She shows up consistently, and through this consistency, she builds results that are undeniable. Her energy, poise, and composure are products of this daily commitment. People are drawn to her because they sense the strength that comes from living a disciplined life. Discipline also cultivates self-respect. By honoring her commitments to herself, she reinforces her worth and integrity. She does not make promises lightly, and she does not bend easily to convenience or impulse. Her habits reflect a life guided by conscious choices rather than by the whims of circumstance. This reliability, this alignment of action and intention, creates a magnetism that others instinctively recognize. In relationships, discipline manifests in patience and consistency. She listens attentively, speaks thoughtfully, and follows through on her word. She does not react impulsively to conflict or drama. Instead, she approaches situations with measured responses, demonstrating control over her emotions and actions. This steadiness makes her presence comforting and appealing, as others feel safe in her company. Even in small daily routines, discipline shapes her beauty and presence. Her posture, grooming, and personal habits are not performed out of vanity, but out of respect for herself. She maintains order in her surroundings, reflecting the clarity and structure she cultivates within. Her life is not chaotic because she understands that true attractiveness is inseparable from the mastery of one's own habits. Ultimately, discipline becomes the invisible framework of her allure. While others may rely on fleeting charm or external approval, she relies on the consistency of her actions, the alignment of her values, and the power of self-mastery. This is what makes her irresistibly compelling, commanding attention without demanding it, and radiating a beauty that is deeply rooted in strength, purpose, and control. Silence is a language that speaks louder than words. An irresistible woman understands its power, and she wields it with intention. She does not feel the need to fill every moment with chatter or explanation. Her presence alone carries weight, and her quiet demeanor draws people in, inviting them to pay closer attention. She knows that when words are scarce, they become precious. And when speech is deliberate, it resonates. Purposeful silence allows her to observe the world clearly. While others rush to react or voice opinions impulsively, she watches, listens, and processes. She notices subtleties that escape the distracted mind, the tone in a friend's voice, the shift in energy in a room, the unspoken needs of those around her. This attentiveness gives her an advantage, not through manipulation, but through awareness. Her insights and responses are considered, measured, and impactful because they are born from reflection rather than haste. Silence also cultivates mystery. People are naturally drawn to what they cannot fully understand. By speaking less, she preserves a sense of depth and intrigue that keeps others interested. She does not reveal every thought, every feeling, or every detail of her life. Instead, she allows layers of her character to unfold gradually, creating a magnetic presence that invites curiosity and respect. The restraint she shows communicates that she values herself enough not to overshare or seek constant validation. In conversations, she listens more than she talks. This habit not only demonstrates respect for others, but also signals confidence. She does not need to dominate discussions to prove her worth. Her quiet listening allows others to express themselves fully while she absorbs, analyzes, and responds with insight. People feel understood in her presence, and understanding is a form of connection that creates lasting impressions. Silence also strengthens her emotional control. By pausing before speaking, she avoids impulsive reactions that could escalate tension or create misunderstandings. She maintains composure in challenging situations, responding with clarity rather than emotion-driven words. This steadiness makes her trustworthy and reliable, qualities that enhance her attractiveness far beyond physical appearance. Even in moments of solitude, she embraces silence as a tool for growth. She reflects on her experiences, examines her thoughts, and aligns her actions with her values. This internal quiet builds clarity, wisdom, and a sense of calm that radiates outward. Others sense this serenity and are naturally drawn to it. Through purposeful silence, she communicates power, presence, and depth without effort. It is a habit that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, creating a magnetic, a you're rooted, not in words, but in the strength of restraint, awareness, and self-possession. Continuous self-improvement is the heartbeat of a woman who exudes timeless beauty and magnetic presence. She understands that life is a journey, and standing still is the slowest form of decay. To grow, evolve, and refine herself every day is not optional. It is a commitment she makes to her own existence. Her allure is not born from vanity or superficial trends. It emerges naturally from the deliberate cultivation of her mind, body, and spirit. Each small effort compounds over time, creating an energy that is palpable to those around her. She competes not with others, but with her past self. Comparison is a distraction. It erodes confidence and breeds unnecessary envy. Instead, she measures progress by how far she has come, how much knowledge she has gained, and how consistently she applies herself. Every morning is an opportunity to become a slightly better version of herself. Reading, reflecting, exercising, meditating, and learning are not chores. They are sacred rituals that maintain her vitality and sharpen her character. Knowledge and intellect are central to her growth. She understands that curiosity is a sign of life, and she never allows her mind to stagnate. She reads widely philosophy, psychology, literature, and history, all of which enrich her perspective. By continuously learning, she strengthens her ability to converse meaningfully, to understand people deeply, and to make decisions grounded in wisdom rather than impulse. Her intelligence is understated yet undeniable, leaving a lasting impression on anyone who engages with her. Physical discipline is equally important. She treats her body as a temple, understanding that energy, posture, and vitality are inseparable from her sense of presence. Exercise is not a punishment, but a celebration of her physicality, a tool to maintain strength, agility, and endurance. Her nutrition is intentional, fueling her body to perform at its best and to radiate health. By respecting her body, she demonstrates to herself and to the world that she is worthy of care and attention, cultivating a natural beauty that transcends fleeting trends. Emotional growth is another cornerstone of her self-improvement. She reflects on her experiences, identifies patterns, and takes responsibility for her responses. She cultivates resilience, learning to navigate disappointment and adversity without losing her composure. Emotional intelligence allows her to build meaningful relationships, empathize without losing herself, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This emotional sophistication adds depth to her character, making her presence comforting, inspiring, and magnetic. Self-improvement also extends to her creative and personal passions. Whether it is art, music, writing, or any form of self-expression, she dedicates time to nurturing her talents. Creativity fuels her spirit, gives her joy, and communicates a vitality that others notice instantly. It is in these expressions of personal growth that her uniqueness shines, setting her apart from those who settle for conformity. Consistency is key. She does not rely on bursts of inspiration or fleeting motivation. Instead, she builds habits that compound over time. Daily reflection, structured learning, mindful practices, and disciplined routines create an invisible framework that strengthens her identity. The world senses her progress because it manifests as confidence, poise, and authenticity. Her energy is unmistakable. It is alive, intentional, and constantly evolving. Through continuous self-improvement, she achieves a balance between humility and strength. She remains grounded enough to acknowledge her imperfections and wise enough to strive for mastery over herself. Her beauty is not just in her appearance. It is in the radiance of her intellect, the grace of her actions, the depth of her emotions, and the unwavering commitment she has made to her own growth. By investing in herself relentlessly, she becomes a woman who is not only irresistible, but also deeply inspiring, leaving a mark on everyone who encounters her. Inner peace is the foundation upon which true attractiveness and irresistible presence are built. A woman who cultivates inner peace understands that her worth is not determined by the opinions of others, by fleeting praise, or by external validation. She does not seek approval because she has already chosen herself. Her confidence is quiet, steady, and unwavering, and it radiates outward in every interaction, creating an energy that draws people toward her effortlessly. She recognizes that the world is filled with chaos, criticism, and distractions that can unsettle even the strongest minds. Instead of allowing these external forces to dictate her mood or sense of self, she maintains a calm center. She responds rather than reacts. She listens without immediately judging. She acts thoughtfully rather than impulsively. In doing so, she creates a presence that is both reassuring and magnetic. People are naturally attracted to stability, and her inner calm becomes a beacon in a world of turbulence. Cultivating inner peace requires self-awareness and intentional practice. She dedicates time to reflection, meditation, or quiet solitude, allowing her to process emotions and thoughts without being overwhelmed by them. She understands that suppressing emotions is not peace, it is avoidance. True peace comes from acknowledging feelings, learning from them, and then releasing them. By mastering this internal rhythm, she avoids unnecessary conflicts and maintains harmony in her relationships and environment. A woman at peace does not depend on attention to feel significant. She does not compete for recognition or validation because she knows that her value is intrinsic. Her confidence is not loud. It does not demand admiration. Instead, it exists quietly through her posture, the clarity of her speech, and the strength of her convictions. This self-assurance allows her to navigate social situations gracefully, knowing that her presence alone communicates authority, composure, and elegance. Inner peace also strengthens her emotional intelligence. She can empathize without losing herself, offer advice without controlling, and support without enabling dependence. She does not let criticism or rejection shake her sense of self. She evaluates and learns when necessary but never allows external negativity to penetrate her foundation. This mastery of emotional energy makes her interactions meaningful and impactful, creating deep connections that are drawn not by superficial charm, but by authentic presence. Her relationships, both personal and professional, benefit from this inner serenity. She is not manipulative, needy, or desperate for attention. Others feel comfortable and safe around her because her energy is steady and predictable. She sets boundaries without aggression and maintains compassion without sacrificing her dignity. Her presence encourages trust, and trust is an invisible magnet that attracts genuine people into her life. Even in her daily routines, inner peace is reflected in the way she carries herself. Her movements are deliberate, her speech is measured, and her focus remains unshaken despite distractions or challenges. She chooses how to spend her time wisely, prioritizing activities and people that nourish her growth rather than drain her energy. This intentionality reinforces her sense of harmony and authenticity. Through the cultivation of inner peace, she achieves a form of attractiveness that transcends physical appearance or social status. People are drawn to her not because she seeks attention, but because she emanates stability, confidence, and grace. Her calmness creates a magnetic energy that others instinctively notice and desire to be near. In essence, her irrepressible charm is born from mastery over herself, her emotions, and her mind, a power that is quiet, profound, and utterly irresistible. In conclusion, the essence of a woman's true beauty lies far beyond appearances. It is cultivated through habits that strengthen her mind, body, and spirit, creating a presence that is magnetic and unforgettable. Emotional control, self-respect, discipline, purposeful silence, continuous self-improvement, and inner peace are not mere practices. They are expressions of her commitment to herself and her growth. These habits allow her to move through life with confidence, grace, and authenticity, attracting not because she seeks to, but because she embodies strength, balance, and harmony. A woman who masters herself becomes irresistible, not through superficial charm, but through the quiet power of a life lived intentionally. She radiates a beauty that is timeless, a presence that is captivating, and an energy that inspires those around her. True allure comes from within, and when cultivated deliberately, it is both profound and enduring.